The rain was relentless, pounding against the windshield as Ion and Myra pulled up to the old hillside hotel. It loomed over them, a dark silhouette against the stormy sky. Inside, the lobby was a cavern of shadows, lit only by a few flickering lamps. The air was thick with the smell of damp earth and decay. A lone receptionist sat behind a heavy oak desk, his face hidden by the low brim of a hat. He didn't look up as they approached, his attention fixed on a dusty ledger. "A room for the night," Ion said, his voice sounding small in the vast, quiet space. Without a word, the receptionist slid a tarnished brass key across the counter. His voice, when he finally spoke, was a dry, rasping whisper that seemed to crawl up their spines. "Room 39. Stay inside after midnight." Ion and Mira exchanged a look. It was a strange warning, but the storm left them no choice. They took the key and headed for the stairs. The hallway on the third floor was long and cold. Peeling wallpaper exposed dark stains on the plaster beneath. Every footstep echoed, amplified by the suffocating silence. The air grew colder as they neared their room. Room 39. The key turned with a grating sound, and the door groaned open, as if it hadn't been disturbed in a century. The room itself was surprisingly ordinary, but the chill was palpable, a cold that seeped into their bones. An old, ornate mirror hung on one wall, its surface clouded with age. An ancient wardrobe stood in the corner, its door slightly ajar. A faint, low humming seemed to vibrate from within the walls. Mira, feeling uneasy, pushed the wardrobe door shut. But as they talked, trying to shake off the hotel's oppressive atmosphere, the door slowly, silently creaked open again. A shiver went down Myra's spine. "Did you see that?" she whispered. Ion stared at the wardrobe, then glanced at the mirror. For a split second, he saw something in the reflection, a fleeting shape moving behind them. He spun around. Nothing. The room was empty, except for the two of them. He tried to laugh it off. "It's just an old hotel. It's probably drafts." But the feeling of being watched intensified. The clock on the bedside table ticked closer to midnight, each second a tiny hammer blow against the silence. Then it struck 12. As the final chime faded, the lamps in the room dimmed on their own, casting long, dancing shadows. The storm outside seemed to die down, and a new, more profound silence fell over the hotel. It was as if every other guest, every sound, had simply vanished. Then it started. Knock, slow, heavy, deliberate. It echoed from their door. "Who could that be at this hour?" Mira whispered, her eyes wide. Ion crept to the door and peered through the peephole. The hallway was empty. A single bare bulb at the far end cast a weak yellow light. The knocking came again, louder this time, more insistent. Faster. Then the door handle began to jiggle violently, rattling in its socket as if someone was desperately trying to force their way in. Hesitantly, Ion unlocked the door and pulled it open. The hallway was deserted. But then the lamp at the far end began to flicker erratically. From the shadows behind it, a figure emerged. It moved on all fours, its limbs stretching, and bending at impossible angles as it crawled toward them, a distorted silhouette against the strobing light. Ion slammed the door shut, his heart hammering against his ribs. He locked it, bolted it, and leaned against it, panting. But the terror had followed them inside. The wardrobe door banged open and shut with incredible force. A spiderweb of cracks shot across the surface of the mirror. The curtains billowed inwards, as if an invisible entity had just passed through them. Mira grabbed his arm, her knuckles white. "It's in here with us," she choked out. "Something followed you in." They backed away, their eyes darting around the chaotic room. Then they saw it. On the bed, the sheets were slowly rising, molding themselves into a shape. It grew taller and taller, forming the distinct outline of a person standing beneath the fabric. The head of the figure tilted to one side with a soft, crinkling sound, even though there was nothing solid underneath. Suddenly, every light in the room exploded in a shower of sparks, plunging them into absolute darkness. A scream caught in Mira's throat. Fumbling, she switched on her phone's flashlight. The narrow beam cut through the blackness, landing first on Ion's terrified face. Then she moved the light. The figure was no longer on the bed. It was standing directly behind Ion, a tall, faceless shape of pure shadow. They screamed and ran, They burst out of the room and into the corridor, not daring to look back. But the hallway had changed. Every door they passed was now marked with the same number, 309. They ran faster, but the corridor seemed to stretch on forever, a repeating, looping nightmare. "It's the hotel," Eric cried, her voice cracking with panic. "It's shifting around us. We're trapped." As they ran, a whisper echoed from all around them, a chorus of ghostly voices speaking as one. You never checked out. No, their frantic footsteps and terrified screams faded into the endless looping hallway, swallowed by the darkness of the hotel that would never let them leave.